Okay. This is going to be a commentary for chapter 37 of my book, Multidimensional, which you can find on Kindle or listen to for free as an audiobook on Google Play. Links are in the description. So chapter 37 is called Virtual Sentience. So if you know anything about computer science, you might know that it all began with Alan Turing, like not all of it, but the computer as we know it began with Alan Turing's idea of a Turing machine, which is a universal computer, something that can compute anything. It's an abstract description of it, but it laid the foundation for all the computers we have today. And the idea behind it is the same. It's the same as is described by the Turing test. The Turing test was the imitation game. To prove to a judge that the computer they are interacting with is actually a human. That's the goal. And this colored everything that we try to do with respect to the imitation of our biology. This determined what we were trying to build. We were trying to build ourselves. That was the goal. When we created artificial intelligence, we tried to recreate ourselves. And that's useful. And in this book, I describe this notion of cerebral illusions, which is the effort to take inspiration from our biology and our brain biology and to produce technology. And that's all fine. And this can be very lucrative and maybe give us lots of stuff that we care about. But one thing it fails at is it fails to capture the true intention of the brain, because the true intention, the true role, what it actually is doing. Because the whole idea of the imitation game was under the assumption that that you can reduce human intelligence or human behavior, humanity to an algorithm, and you can therefore make it the case that experience becomes epiphenomenal, because it's all described by algorithms that have no need for appealing to anything experiential. But that's, according to this theory, that's not what the brain does at all. The brain is not producing the behaviors for an outside judge to evaluate and say, yeah, this is a natural brain. That's not an issue in the natural world. No one is actually trying to prove that a human baby is there's something experiential about it, or that it is human, or a dog, or an old man. No one tries to prove what computers try to prove. It's not an issue. It is the brain is there for the purpose of survival. And insofar as this theory has any merit, then its role is not to create intelligence, because intelligence is already there. Its role is to harness intelligence that is in the experiential intelligence. So it's not trying to produce the behavior for an outside judge. It's trying to serve an internal tenant, which is experience. And that's a completely different model. It's not something that imitates behaviors for anyone outside to look at. It's to adapt the physical world for this internal tenant, so that internal tenant would use its intelligence and in its metaphysical capacities to mobilize time in a way that is favorable for the body. Again, that's a completely different goal. Now, you can't do that with a computer for the simple reason that everything that the computer does, like a regular computer, everything the computer does is described by the physical processes, and it doesn't need experience for anything. So if you don't need experience for anything, then you're definitely not the brain. But that doesn't mean that we cannot create that dynamic and study it in a computer. We just need to let go of the idea that that recreating ourselves will produce a tool. That's not. We're not tools. I am not a tool. I am not a tool. You are not a tool. No one is a tool of anything else. No one is there to be of utility to someone else. That's not why we are created. We are not created. Okay, going in circles here, but that's not what this thing, the body, is. It's not. It's not a tool for society. It is. Well, it survives and it agrees with evolutionary advantages. Like, if you have an evolutionary advantage, then you survive, and that's why you survive. That's all good, but that's like just why it persists. But why it exists at all, that's not the goal. The goal is internal. And again, we can create that if we think about it. Like, if we understand the model that this theory describes, and we can implement it. It's quite a weird thing, and I describe it in this chapter. I'm describing it in chapters going forward. I call it virtual sentience. It doesn't have sentience, but it behaves as if there's sentience, as if it has sentience, or as if it serves sentience, according to the rationale that is driving real brains or real experiential intersection, insofar as this theory is correct. And it can teach us stuff about ourselves, and I think that just by doing this thought experiment, it will. It already did teach me, at least, and maybe you as well, some things about what that thing that we are. But it's not there to answer prompts like ChatGPT or anything like that. It's there to serve itself. And part of this serving of itself is that any connection between it and the wakeful world will always be some kind negotiated. The same as it is negotiated for us. We're not aware of it, but according to this theory, there is a negotiation happening all the time. So the theory calls it body-space reconciliation. This is what makes it possible for us to share the same reality, the same consistent reality. And that's part of this, what this thing does. It creates a fake reality for that internal agent to interact with and to negotiate with the external shared reality, which is ours. It doesn't decide what this reconciliation, what will be the consensus. It just creates a mechanism for that consensus to be negotiated. And then in the next chapters, I'm describing it more deeply. Don't expect this to end, this project, these few chapters to end with you being able to create virtual sentience. I mean, you might be able to, but the point is not to create it, because it has no, it serves no purpose for you. For you, artificial intelligence will suffice. Artificial intelligence would give you the tool that you want. But for more theoretical reasons and motivations, then it might make some sense to actually try to do it, just to see if the theory holds water.